Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Farah. I'm Farah Raj. I'm from Bangladesh. So today I'm going to talk about rickshaw, which is the most popular mode of transportation in Bangladesh. So before I move on to the topic of rickshaw, I just want you to know where Bangladesh is. So point A is showing the place where we are right now is Boston, Massachusetts, and point B is showing the location for the city of Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is a Southeast Asian country. It is bordered by India in northeast and west, and it is bordered by Myanmar in southeast portion. It's faced on Bay of Bengal on south portion. Most interesting fact about Bangladesh is it has got the world's largest sandy sea beach, which is unbroken of 125 kilometers. So if any one of you are interested, you can get a trip on that. So before move on to the rickshaw in context of Bangladesh, I'd just like to have a brief overview in history of rickshaw. So the word rickshaw came from a Japanese word, which is rickshaw, which means a human-powered vehicle. And rickshaws were first seen in Japan in 1868. The inventor of rickshaw remains uncertain. There are like a lot of gossip about that, but which I found most important and interesting is that according to some American source, American blacksmith Albert Thoman invented the rickshaw around 1848 in Worcester, Massachusetts. So it's here. So before moving on to the rickshaws on Bangladesh, is actually all over the world. You will find rickshaws in countries of Africa, Asia, Europe, and North America. So in Madagascar, rickshaw is known as pose pose. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, if I'm correct or not, but pose poses are actually very bright in color. In South Africa, Durban is really famous for those iconic jewelry rickshaw pullers. If you can see this jewelry rickshaw pullers flying on the air, having fun pulling those rickshaw. So in Asia, as I say, rickshaw is most popular mode of transportation in Bangladesh. In China, you will find rickshaws like that, an extension of the back of the car with the cycle. In Hong Kong, rickshaw was first imported to Hong Kong from Japan in 1880. Its popularity decreased after World War II, and the most interesting fact is there is only one old licensed driver still bearing a license, and he is offering ride on the Victoria Pick. In India, so most of the India has been shifted to auto rickshaw. The last considerable amount of hand-pull rickshaws are found in Kolkata, and that is because of the fact that those rickshaw puller has been protested against banning rickshaw from Kolkata. That's why you can find them on Kolkata. In Indonesia, the rickshaws are known as pikak. Now, the most interesting fact in here is all the rickshaw you have seen before, there were rickshaw pullers were sitting in front of the passengers. But here, the rickshaw puller is actually sitting behind the passenger. In Malaysia, you'll find this kind of rickshaw where rickshaw puller will be sitting side by side to the passenger. In Pakistan, they're known as kinky. I found this information in Wikipedia, but I don't think this is human-powered vehicle. It's actually an engine-powered vehicle, but they call it rickshaw. In Europe, you'll find this kind of rickshaw in Finland. You'll find this kind of rickshaw in Dublin, in Ireland. So in North America, you'll find rickshaws in USA and Canada. In Los Angeles, they actually have kept all those traditional man-pulled rickshaws rather than changing it to cycle rickshaw. You'll find this kind of ice cream server vehicle in Broadway, Atlantic City. You'll find pedicab rickshaw in New York. You'll find this kind of rickshaw in Madison, Wisconsin, which is, I find it so pretty cool that it's an extension from the bicycle. And you'll find rickshaws in Cincinnati, Ohio, Minneapolis, Minnesota, downtown Charleston in South Carolina. You'll find rickshaws here in Boston. That's called a pedicab. You can just like call a 617 number and you can reserve a ride. So anyone, I mean, if I'm also getting homesick and want to take a ride, I can actually take a ride here. So in Canada, rickshaw is a popular mode of transportation in downtown Ottawa that provides to its historical Bywood market in summer. They have actually kept the traditional food-driven rickshaw model, but where they have featured it with modern sound system to play music. So now let's come to the rickshaws in Bangladesh. The first cycle rickshaw appeared in Bangladesh in 1930s. As I said, that's the most common and popular mode of transportation in Bangladesh. It is actually serving a very large portion of our population. It is the most cheapest mode of transportation and it usually travels short distance. So as from the definition, because rickshaw is a human-powered vehicle, we actually have got 4 types of rickshaw in Bangladesh. So this one is a cycle rickshaw. This one is a rickshaw van. It doesn't have a passenger seat or hood. This is a school van. You will see kids on their going to the school by this school van. And this is the push car. So what kind of service is actually we're getting from rickshaw? They transport people. If you can see this picture, this is actually a picture from the village. In village, we don't have many people with car ownership. They don't own a car. So even if in emergency medical condition, like emergency health condition, they actually hire a van, rickshaw van, to get onto the nearby hospital. They are used to transport educational material. They are used to transport food items like pear, mango, bananas. They are also used to transport animals. They are used to transport different kinds of goods, even furniture. In village, you will see that people, because they don't have cars to like transport their furniture, you will see they're moving from one place to another with their furniture in rickshaw. Here the pushcart is transporting some carpets. So, advantages of rickshaw. The first thing is go green. So, rickshaw do not contribute to the environmental pollution. It doesn't consume fuel. It doesn't use any natural non-renewable energy resources. It doesn't create noise pollution. It's very effective for short distance travel, and it is actually reducing number of single occupant vehicle on road, because if any person is like thinking about taking his car, he will just take the rickshaw rather than taking his car if he's alone. So it's a very effective mode of transportation, especially in rainy season for occasional flooding or waterlogging, as you can see. I mean, no people will be interested to drive their car on this situation. Well, this picture, you can tell me that this picture is not a good idea about rickshaw because this is making congestion, but it is actually effectively reducing the amount of cut-through traffic on local or residential street, because no one is actually interested to drive their car on this situation. So it has got less severe crashes with pedestrian because if you are hit by a rickshaw, you will not at least die. So definitely these have got some disadvantages, like because it's a slow-moving vehicle, it actually creates a great problem in mixed traffic because of speed differential. Due to frequent lane-changing behavior of rickshaw pullers, it possesses a great potential for crashes and fatality in mixed traffic. Rickshaw itself is not a very strong, doesn't get a very strong enough structure to sustain or avoid injury of its passenger or rickshaw puller itself. And it's only suitable for short distance, which limits its distance range of transporting both people and goods. So my recommendation is to put a dedicated rickshaw lane or rickshaw track. So if you can see in this picture, I mean, people are driving peacefully in the road because rickshaws are on their own lane. So besides putting a dedicated rickshaw lane or rickshaw track, we can encourage rickshaw pooling on local roads and providing good connection by allowing them crossing major roads in specific blocks. Definitely, there is a chance to provide education to rickshaw pullers about the rules of the road so that they do not frequently change lane and get into a crash. Providing adequate space for parking rickshaw at popular destination is very important because if they don't get a parking place, they actually scatter here and there, and that causes a big congestion. And which is most important is because our government is banning rickshaws from some major arterials. Rather than banning them totally from the major arterials and mixed traffic, they can actually apply a regulation to ban it on rush hour when there is a lot of vehicles on road, and they can provide them, they can like provide, allow them to run on the road when that is not a rush hour. They can just, that is not going to make any congestion. So thank you all. I would appreciate any kind of question, comments, and suggestion about my presentation.
Questions or thoughts for Farah?
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
For Raji.
Yeah.
So for giving a sense, actually that is negotiable. You have to negotiate with rickshaw puller. So to give a sense about the cost, if you want to go from North Eastern Station to the Prudential Station, that will cost 10 Dhaka in our currency, which is equivalent to 12.5 cents. So that's pretty much cheap. Yeah.
Do people use like regular bicycles a lot there?
Yeah, they do.
Who uses the rickshaw mostly? Is it tourists or commuters?
Everyone.
Everyone?
Yeah. Everyone uses rickshaw because that's the most cheapest. There is one more thing, because we don't have intra-city. We have intercity rail connection, but we don't have intra-city rail connection. So rickshaw is actually serving all those population who wants to, all those demand for getting onto short distances. Yeah.
So is it more popular for people that own their own rickshaw or just use the rickshaw system like a taxi?
Actually, people don't own their. That's very rare to people for owning their own rickshaw, because that is, available. If you will just get out of your home and like step onto the road, you'll find a rickshaw. So, people generally own a car, but that's not a great amount. So, yeah.
Is there any sort of licensing for the rickshaw? So do you have to take a test, or do you have to pay into a certain pool to own a rickshaw and operate a rickshaw?
No, actually, no.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Farah. Nice work. All right, Julia.